I showed you a postcard yesterday. I was on, and I told you about I was getting training. I was training for a hockey tryout, major junior A, and I want to go back a year. Yeah, in 1973, it was the year I graduated from high school, and I had played 3 years of junior A by then. Yeah, in grade 10, I was 15. I played junior A and led the team in scoring, and I never even thought about it, but now I think, why didn't any major junior A teams come looking for me at 15? You scored 20 goals in 26 games. That's pretty good. And I didn't know, but I was only 15. They weren't allowed to talk to me without my father's permission. He wouldn't give it to them. So I guess they were there, but I know a couple of universities were there. But anyways, I was going nowhere till I graduated high school, and that's okay. That's what my dad wanted, and that's what I did. But when I turned 18, all of a sudden I got all these letters from junior A team, major junior A teams. I'm thinking, whoa, where have they been for the last 2 or 3 years, And so I picked Cornwall. Yeah, they sound like a good team. They had some Maritimers on the team, a couple of guys I knew a little bit, and so I went up to Cornwall at the very end of August, and it was a heat wave. The humidity was sky high, and it was hard to even walk outside. It was so hot and humid. And the night before the tryouts is six. I think we had 5 games in one practice in Cornwall. I did pretty well, actually. I scored some goals. But anyways, the night before, I threw up. Yeah, I vomited in the bathroom once. And I said, that is strange. I'm not nervous. I've been playing junior A for 3 years, and it's just not, I'm not nervous. I'm in great shape, But then I found out the next day in the first warm-up for the first game, one of the Chase boys from Newcastle, the twins, they were already there. They said, when was the last time you were on the ice? I said, about 6 months ago. They said, these guys have been on the ice every day all summer. I said, oh, wow. Yeah, so it took me a little while to get in hockey shape. And I played 5 games, I guess it was. And at the end of that time, in between games, all I wanted was water and oranges. Yeah, oranges. Imagine. And the ice wasn't ready in Cornwall at the main rink, and they busted us. And all I wanted to do was sleep. And I wasn't very sociable with anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't, I couldn't have played up to my as good as I was. And I was one of the first cuts, I guess, after 3 days. And I don't remember getting cut. I don't remember being upset. I just remember being exhausted and thirsty. Wow. Anyways, they cut me on September 4th, 1973. How do I remember that? Well, I had a letter from Peterborough Pete's, the famous major junior A team in Ontario. And they invited me to their camp starting September 5th. So I drove down the 401 and up to Peterborough, and man, they treated me so nice and with open arms and put me in a house with Mrs. Dixon in Belgrave Street, I think it was. And they were so nice, and I got some rest. And I don't know, the heat wave was still there, but it was going away, and I didn't seem to be as dragged out. And I got some sleep. In the first game, the ice wasn't ready in Peterborough either. The heat wave wouldn't let it freeze, but smaller rinks it could. And we played in this Louis small rink the first game. And we're going on the ice, and one of the board of directors pulled me aside. See, I was just a little guy, folks. I wasn't very big. And he pulled me aside, and he said, young man, he said, we're playing in a real small ice surface right now. I said, yeah, okay. He said, there's some real big guys here trying to make an impression on the coaches. I said, yeah, well, sir, I won't hurt them. I have no intention of hurting anybody here. And he looked at me and he said, no, I'm concerned about you getting hurt. I said, oh, don't worry about that. I've been playing with 19-year-olds since I was 12 years old, so no problem, sir. And so I played 6 games in Peterborough in 3 days. And the 5th game, I was on the 4th line. Yeah, 16-year-old center. I looked at him, I said, do you plan on making this team? He said, not this year. He said, but next year. He said, it's my lifelong dream to play for the Peterborough Petes. I said, really? Yeah. I said, well, you're my center, man. I said, listen, this is my 4th year at Junior A. I know how to score. You get me the puck and I'll put it in. How's that? He said, deal. And man, he set me up for 2 of the prettiest goals you'd ever see. I got a puck to him once. I got an assist. 2 goals, 1 assist in my 5th game. Yeah, I think I got 5 or 6 or 7 in the whole tournament. And it was a 3-team tournament is what it was. So I guess it was 60 guys trying out, something like that. Anyways, the last game of the tryouts, I'm on the first line. And I'm starting the game, and I'm playing with a guy named Doug Jarvis. Now, Doug Jarvis, I think he led the Ontario League in scoring, and then he went on to play over 700 NHL games without missing one. Can you imagine? They called him the Iron Man. He's a really good player. Don't remember the game, though. No, I remember the last play. I was going on the left side, and I was flying. Oh, yeah, flying. And at just the right moment, Doug Jarvis got me the puck on the left side. And I let that thing go like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. Just let it go as quick as could be. And I had the goalie beat in the far side. Yep. I only had about that much room to get it in. But I knew it. He never moved. And that puck, I hit it right on as hard as I'd ever shot a puck in my life. And it was one of those goals that people in the stands would say, who shot that? You don't see that every day. That was a goal scorer's goal. Yeah, not very many people could do score like that. That's one problem. I missed the post by this much. Never even nicked the post. It went wide. It hit the backboards and the sideboards, and the game was over. And I remember this. I remember shrugging my shoulders, thinking, that could cost me the tryout. If I had scored that goal, maybe I could have made the team. Because I think I played well enough to make the team. I did. But there was one thing I didn't tell you. When I showed up, they told me to weigh in. I didn't. I snuck out. The next day, they told me to weigh in. I didn't. I snuck out. I said, I'll do it after I shower. Well, yeah, I snuck out. So everybody was waiting in except me. Pretty good reason for that. So after that game, the last game, I get about 6 of these guys working for the team. I don't know who they were, stick boys, trainers. I don't know. They said, you have to get weighed in. I said, I will after I shower. They said, no, you're doing it now. So they had one of those scales where you had the things on the top and stuff. And I jumped on the scales and they said, there you go. 168. And, jumped off. They said, it's not 168. I said, yeah, it is. Anyways, they got me back on the scales, and it was, keep in mind, I wasn't feeling so well in Cornwall for a week, or for a few days, and I weighed 123 pounds, yeah. Anyways, they took that to the coach, and he had ordered the weigh-in, I guess. Roger Nielsen was the coach, turned into a famous NHL coach, and coached the Canucks and the Leafs, and he was just a great guy, great coach. And anyways, I got a letter. I have it, actually. I still have it. I should have grabbed it before I told this story, but I forgot. And I said, see the coach at 1 p.m. I said, great. So I went to see Mr. Nielsen, Coach Nielsen, and he said, come in. He slammed the door behind me, and he paced, he screamed, he yelled, he called me names. He said some foul words. And he banged on the table and he threw a bunch of papers on the ground. And he told me no one ever played in this league under 155 pounds. It was Bobby Lalonde, and he was a great player, but he only weighed 155 pounds. Only 155? Yeah. I was like 32 pounds under that. Is that what it was? 30. Anyways, I was a lot under 155. And he said no one's ever played in the league at that weight. And he wasn't going to start with me. He wasn't going to let me play for the team at that weight. He said I was good enough to play. He said I made the team. And to be honest with you folks, like I had a pretty confident, cocky 18-year-old I was. You know, I had played 3 years of Junior A, and I just wasn't intimidated by anybody or anything. And Roger was telling me he was cutting me from the team. I wanted to make that team. I wanted to play in that team. I liked it there. But I didn't have that fight in me to stay. I didn't bang the table. I didn't get up on this team. I just said, give me one more chance. I did none of that. I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why. Anyways, I accepted the cut from the team, which I really, really shouldn't have. And I was home the next day, and my throat expanded like that. I was so sick. I couldn't talk. I couldn't swallow. I could barely breathe. And I was in bed for a long time. Yeah. Diagnosed with strep throat, I guess. I'm not sure, but yeah. And it took, oh my heavens, years later, 30 years later, when I found out when both my children had mono. By George, I had mono. Exactly what I had. Never tested for it. But if I took antibiotics, I don't remember. It was the worst thing you could do if you have a virus. Antibiotics for an infection, not for a virus. And so anyways, I was very, very, very sick for quite a while. I'm thinking maybe a month. It was awful. I didn't care if I lived or died. I was so sick. And finally, I started to get better, and the hockey season was starting in St. John, the tryouts, and the senior team, general manager, Jack Woodhouse, he got a hold of me, and he said, you're playing for us this year. They had just won the Hardy Cup, Canadian Championship, senior hockey or intermediate hockey, same thing. It's just different organizations they joined at the start of the year. But he wanted me to play with the men. I just kicked off, wasn't allowed to play with the boys, but he wanted me to play with the men. What did I do in the senior team? Well, I came in the top 10 of scoring, I think 4th or 5th or 6th or something like that, and I made the All-Star team with the men. I wasn't too small to play with the men, but I was too small to play with the boys in Peterborough. Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense. But anyways, folks, if your teenage kids get a swollen throat and they're sick, get them tested for mono, because it's really hard to tell. Like if your spleen's not enlarged, doctors say you don't have mono. That's just not true. My spleen wasn't enlarged. My kid's spleen wasn't enlarged. But they're very sick with mono. A little bit of steroids bring your throat rate down, and bingo, you're better. So that's good to know. Virus infection. I should write a book about that because it's a big difference. And anyways, that was my first 2 tryouts for Major Junior A. The following season, there's some interesting happenings, and I'll tell that story in the future. But bye for now. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and like it if you liked it, and make a comment if you do. Maybe have a question or something. But this whole thing's been fun. I'm going to try and do more long-term videos for YouTube, so you get used to me being on here a little bit longer than usual. The shorts are great, but it's not the key thing. Me wanting to tell 1,000 stories, and man, I'm well over 100. I'm in the 100.5 range, so that's good. It's been fun, and my followers and subscribers are growing all the time. Like 1 or 2 a day. It's kind of fun. Anyways, that's my Major Junior A story for 1973. Bye for now.